Hey there, welcome to this Yoga for Football class. Thank you for joining. My name is Collie. Hope you're doing really well today. We're going to do a short and sweet class that's going to focus on releasing a little bit of tension in the legs, particularly hamstrings, calves, hip flexors. We'll spend some time thinking about strengthening them up as well. Aim of the game, excuse the pun, is to come out with slightly stronger ankles, slightly stronger outer hips. I know there's a lot of turning, a lot of sprinting away from people in football, so hopefully that will help prevent from injury. Should be the perfect kind of accompaniment to a football schedule, maybe doing this once or twice a week to both stretch and strengthen up some vital areas of the body. Hope you enjoy. All you need is your mat. We're going to start in a seated position. I recommend parking the bum down and crossing your legs, sitting in your easy pose. We won't be here for too long, but think about relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your hands on your knees or in your lap, and staying as alert as possible, so physically alert, maybe puffing up the chest, crown of the head high. Maybe go ahead and softly close your eyes as well. And we'll take just a short while to slow things down, just to sharpen up the focus before we begin the class and transition into it from whatever you were doing previously. Just think about pushing that to one side and really just starting to direct your attention in towards your body. Just noticing how the body feels as you take this seated position. Notice your sitting bones, your legs, your feet. Just trying to allow some weight of your body to really kind of press down on them. At the same time, a little scan through your body. Notice shoulders, face, head. Just think about releasing any kind of unnecessary tension. So really softening up the skin on the face, allowing the shoulders to soften down your back. And then taking 30 seconds, a minute or so, just to really focus on your breathing. Start to tune into both the inhale and the exhale. And just enjoy this opportunity to take the time to notice how it feels to breathe. Notice how it sounds to breathe. And just allow the breath to kind of soften up and go a little bit lower, a little bit deeper into your lower belly with the inhale, and a little bit longer with the exhale. See if you can come into a bit of a rhythm with this slightly longer, slightly softer, and slightly calmer breath. We'll try and keep it that way throughout the class if we can. Whenever you're ready, take as long as you need, making sure that the body, the mind feels nice and grounded. Before you begin, you can open the eyes. Let's make our way towards our all fours. We'll come onto our hands and our knees. Just making sure that your movement is kind of controlled and considered. And we'll take the shoulders above the wrists. Let's take the right leg behind us. Toes can stay on the ground for now. And we'll just start to bring a little bit of heat into the calf muscles. You can push back with the ankle, push back with the heel. Maybe start to roll forwards and backwards over your toes. Before lifting the right leg up, and we'll take the left hand out in front of us, so opposite hand to foot. Go long with both of them, so you're really kicking your heel away from you. Take an inhale to prepare, and as you breathe out, bring your elbow towards your knee underneath your chest, and then breathe in to extend and stretch both back out again. So exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. As you bring your elbow to knee, think about forehead coming in as well, so your back is nicely rounded. And then inhale, really stretching both and straightening out. One more time. Now as you go long, take the left arm out towards the side this time. See if you can keep your arm kind of parallel to the mat. And if you want to take a little bit further, you can sweep your right leg out towards the right side as well. And this is where we're going to start to fire up the outer hip a little bit. You can try and point your toes towards the front of the room. Maybe keep your right leg kind of parallel to the ground as well. And don't forget to breathe before coming back to center. Notice the heat that's generated. Maybe have a little shake out if you need to. And then take your left leg long. We'll do the same thing here. So toes on the ground, a little bit of pushing forwards and backwards. Try and get some sort of purchase. So you're stretching out the calf muscles before lifting the left leg. And we'll take the right arm long. Take your time to get your balance. And then again, thinking about sweeping elbow to knee with the exhale. Inhale, stretch and lengthen. Exhale, draw it in. Again, don't forget about the back. Think about rounding it. Core engages as you draw in. And then stay long. Take any variation here you want. Right arm out to the right. And then maybe left leg out to the left. A little bit more challenging than it seems. Keeping your arm and your leg parallel to the ground. Breathe softly, slowly. Keep the gaze steady. And then come back to center. Feel free to kind of take any movement here that you want to take. Shake out. Circles with the bum and the hips. Maybe cat and cow pose. Just to loosen out your spine. Before swiftly moving on towards your downward dog. So we'll lift the knees off the ground. Suck in the tummy as you lift your hips high. And I really invite you just to continue to move, pedaling your feet out. Bringing some heat and warmth into the muscles on the backs of your legs, and really just taking this time to check in with them, notice how they are feeling with that movement. Before walking towards the front of the mat, bringing your feet towards your hands, standing forward fold at the front of your mat. Now I recommend bending your knees quite a lot. You can take any kind of ragdoll pose you want here, so maybe fingers are on the ground. Could grab your elbows, opposite elbows, take a little swing from side to side. Or if you wanted to release some tension in the shoulders, interlock your fingers behind the back, you can sweep your arms up and over. And whichever variation you have taken, I recommend bending one knee, straightening out the other leg. Play around with doing that a couple of times on each side, just to check in with your hamstrings, shooting the bum and the hips up high and allowing the crown of the head to drop down low. Before allowing your hands to drop down to the ground, and then taking a step or a jump back to your plank, where we are going to channel some strength, spreading our fingers wide, squeezing glutes, squeezing core. You want to think of pushing with the hands so there's space in between your shoulder blades. You can look forwards, breathe. Now maybe if you want to take a little bit further, you could lift your right foot a couple of centimeters off the ground. Make sure you're kicking both heels away from you. And then gently lower it, lift the left leg up. Try to internally rotate your left thigh, or the thigh that is up. And then soften down. So we'll drop the knees onto the ground and then lower the chest and the chin all the way down as well to relax the tops of your feet. As you go down, cobra, so we're pressing with the hands as we lift the chest, light bend in the back. Take your time, enjoy it, and then head back to your down dog. Returning to your downward dog, just thinking about your alignment, have a look at your hands. Make sure your fingers are very wide. Make sure your hands are kind of on the same line. Feet, keep them straight, hip width apart. And then relax your head, perhaps look towards your shins, take a long inhale through the nose and just go ahead and let it out through your mouth. Before lifting the right leg high, three-legged dog. So let's take the gaze forwards and step in between the hands. Now if the foot doesn't make it, just shuffle it forwards and then drop your left knee. Inhale to lift your arms up above the head, coming into a low lunge. We're going to stay here for a little bit. You can shuffle the right foot forwards, keep the knee above the ankle, maybe lift your arms up, really scoop your chest forwards and up, and enjoy the stretch for your left hip flexors here. So nice and spacious here between the left knee all the way up towards your left fingers. Try and exaggerate it before taking the hands down inside your right foot. I'm going to enjoy a lizard pose, shuffling the right foot all the way out towards the right. Maybe staying on your hands if you want to, or if you are able to, you could drop down onto your forearms. You can take any variation you want really. Arms out in front of you, arms out to the sides. But wherever you are, just take a moment to really notice how this feels in the legs. Breathe deeply and then come back to your hands. We'll step back to our plank. And again, slightly forwards with the gaze. Drop the knees, the chest, the chin. Enjoy a gentle vinyasa. Cobra, lifting the chest, pressing the hands and the feet down as you scoop it up. And then push back. Down dog. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So left leg, take it up slowly. Step forwards. Drop the right knee, breathe in and lift up your arms. Relax your shoulders as you do. Take as long as you need here. Enjoy it. And then sweep the hands down inside left foot. And then whatever adjustments that you need to take here, so left foot, shuffle out to the left. Right knee might go a little bit further back. And then maybe just staying on the hands. Taking a moment to really check in with the right hip flexors here. Left side of the groin. Maybe the arms come down, reach forwards or reach out to the right. Before coming back to your hands on the mat and stepping back to your plank. And again, we'll drop the knees, chest, chin. Full inhale to a cobra, so we're lifting the chest nice and high, collarbones broad. And then exhaling your way back to your down dog. Again, just focusing on your alignment, thinking about fingers wide. Elbows want to sweep in towards each other. Arms shoulder width. Relax your face. And then breathe in to lift the right leg. Let's take a step in between the hands again. Take your time, shuffle the foot forwards if needs be, and lift the arms above the head. So we're coming into a high lunge. Both feet are strong. Squeeze your thighs together. When you're ready, open it out to your warrior two. So the back foot goes down, arms nice and wide. You can go deep into the hips here, so right knee above the right ankle. Almost right thigh kind of parallel to the ground if you can. Symmetry in the arms. Gaze over the right hand. Let's flip the palm and we'll reverse the warrior. So you can reach long and then reach high. Left hand maybe on the left thigh. You can straighten out your right arm. Really exaggerate this. The muscles in between your ribs, getting a decent lengthening here. You could keep a deep lunge in the right knee at the same time to exaggerate. And then move with your breath. So exhale to cartwheel down with your arms. Step back to your plank. And then hover on down, knees, chest, chin. Of course, feel free to find your chaturanga and upward facing dog instead. Otherwise, just keep it kind of relatively relaxed. As you come back to your downward dog, left leg goes high. Let's do the same thing on this side. Step forwards. Breathe in, engage your core to help lift up the body. And then as you exhale, back foot down, arms wide. So a little alignment tip, look down at your feet, thinking left heel, line it up with the arch of the right foot. You want to kind of draw your left sitting bone back in towards the body. Relax shoulders. Flip the left hand, let's reverse it. So you want to think of your upper body here kind of reaching and scooping up towards the ceiling rather than dumping down towards the right thigh. Breathe, keep your left leg strong, quadriceps are active. And then we'll move with the breath, cartwheel down with the exhale. Fingers wide as they touch the mat, step back plank. And knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Make it a good one. Make it a full one. And then push back, a down dog. Suck in your tummy, lift your hips high. Relax your head. Maybe relax the jaw, make some space between your teeth. And then breathe in to lift the right legs. Gaze forwards. Let's step in between the hands again. And then lift the arms up. So same thing as we did the last time. High lunge. Open it out to your warrior two. And we'll straighten the leg and find a triangle pose. So with the right leg straight, you can kick the hips to the left. Reach forwards with the right arm and then swivel or swing your right hand down inside right leg. Left arm is high. Preferably kind of straight line between both hands. Chest very open. And of course, just check in with the legs. You might want to have a sort of micro bend in the knees. Decent stretch going on inside right leg. Breathe. And then come back up to a T shape with your arms. Point your toes towards the long left side of the mat. And we're going to forward fold from here. Hinge at your hips. Keep your chest open as you go down. And then relax your hands down and we'll twist. You might want to think about pointing your toes in towards each other, softening your knees. That will definitely help. Let's place the right hand down. Open out your chest to the left. lift your left arm high, look up to your left hand, and then do the same thing on the other side. So any tension in the upper body, side of the upper body, this nice little twist should help release. And then we'll come out of it, both hands down. Walk your hands to your left foot, bending your left knee, Skandasana, side squat so the right leg is straight. Really decent stretch inside the groin. Hamstrings are getting a little look in as well. And then we'll walk our hands all the way over towards the right foot, bending the right knee, left leg straight. You can do it a few times. Think about jumping, not jumping, but kind of nimbly springing lightly between the two. Take your time with it, or maybe you just want to hold it and get some purchase. You can point the right toes to the ceiling, could even extend left arm long. Open out your chest and reach your right arm high. Before returning to the front of the mat, so we'll swivel, face the front, frame your right foot with your hands, drop your left knee, half splits, hamstrings, getting a good stretch out. So you can point your toes towards your face, flex foot, kick heel away, lift up the chest, collarbones broad, maybe even close the eyes and take 2 or 3 deep breaths into whatever it is you feel, back of the leg. And then roll forwards. We'll step into our warrior 3. So a little bit of balancing. You can lift the left knee up behind you, stepping onto your right foot, lifting the left leg up. Now fingertips on the ground, keep them there for stability. You might have a soft bend in your right knee. If you're up for it, bring your hands to heart center, hands to prayer. You can lift up the upper body, flex your left foot. Now with any balancing, you really want to keep your gaze steady. Lock your gaze into something on the ground or on the wall in front of you. Try and lift up the chest rather than fold down. Breathe. Stay strong. This is where the ankle and the outer hip strength is definitely going to come into play. And we'll sweep the left knee forwards to a standing pose. Feel free to drop the left foot down. Otherwise, bring your left knee towards your chest. Challenge your hip flexors here to bring the knee up. Stand tall, puff up the chest. And then tree pose. Left foot, right thigh. So you may want to take the left foot to the calf instead. If that is more accessible, try to veer away from the knee. Bring your hands to heart center, left hand joining the right, right hand joining the left, kind of centers the focus a little bit. Otherwise, hands above the head, pistol grip, maybe biceps can squeeze the ears, finding length in the sides of your upper body as you reach high. Again, keep your gaze steady. If you want to really challenge yourself, close your eyes here. See how long you got with your eyes closed on one foot. And then when you're ready, hands come back to center, heart center, and we'll kick the left foot all the way to the back of the mat. Slower the better. Hands go down onto the ground, right foot joins the left foot. You can take a vinyasa from there. So maybe knees are on the ground, or maybe chest, elbow height this time, chaturanga. Push forwards, up dog, or cobra, whatever back bend is more accessible for you. Push back, down dog. We'll meet back there and reconnect with the breath. Long inhale, long exhale. Before lifting the left leg, slower than last time, no rushing. Gaze forwards, step in between your hands, and then lift your arms up with control. We'll open them out with control as well. So again, notice the feet, think of your alignment. Straighten the left leg, kick the hips to the right as you reach forwards and down. So you really want to think about your hands kind of expanding away from each other in equal measure. And then at the same time, the neck, the crown of the head is extending away from your tailbone. Tailbone is drawing down towards your right heel. Softness in the breath. Come up to a T, point toes to the right. And then forward fold. So slight point in of your feet. Softly bend your knees. And this time, rather than twisting, let's take the hands to the left leg, grab your knee, your shin, or your ankle. Really go ahead and smother the left leg with your arms and your chest and your head. Before doing the same thing on the other side. Just notice how this feels. Coming back to center, right hand down, left hand up, twisting again. And then left hand down and right hand up. Try and get some purchase. Crown of the head wants to really extend away from the bum as you do this twisting, so lengthening the spine. Come on down, let's find our side squat. So hands, walk them to the right foot, bending the right knee. And then walk them to the left foot, bending the left knee. You could bounce between the two for a couple of times. If you want to challenge, grab hold of your ankles. See if you can keep hold of the ankles as you go between the two. And then maybe hold it at the back of the mat, right knee bent. See the right hand down and left hand up. Maybe pointing toes of the left foot to the ceiling. Coming out of it, swivel, face the front. Try to be controlled, considered with your movements. Drop the right knee, find your half splits. May need a little bit of adjustment, driving your right hip forwards, kicking your heel away, pointing toes to face, and maybe even lifting the chest a little bit, collarbones broad. Immerse yourself in these sensations and breathe deeply into them. Roll forwards, step on through. Let's find our warrior three. So you want to think about all four corners of the left foot kind of pressing down evenly. Again, think of your gaze. You almost want to think of the gaze first. Lock it in. And then start to follow your breath in and out. That will definitely help your balance. Flex right foot, drive right hip down, chest open. Crown of the head extends away from the right heel. Before sweeping forwards, standing pose. Take your time. Any wobbles between these kind of transitions, see if you can enjoy them rather than curse yourself. A little smile across the face always helps. Right knee coming up, stand tall. Hold it there for a couple of breaths. Maybe even straightening your leg if you wanted to test it a little bit further before finding your tree on this side. So right foot, left thigh. Lovely stuff. So think about right foot pressing into the left thigh just as much as the left thigh presses into the right foot. So the kind of outer hip here is also going to get a bit of an engagement. Maybe hands to heart, hands above the head. Stand tall wherever you are, but at the same time notice your foot, the standing foot. Think about its roots being as strong and grounded as any tree in your local park. Space between the right knee and the left hip, very broad, very wide. Maybe close the eyes. And then when you're ready, let's float. Kick the right foot back, nice and slowly, all the way to the back of the mat. Take it down, hands go down as well, left foot joins the right foot. And stay here in a high plank for a moment. Spread your fingers very wide, and again lift your right foot up a couple of centimeters. Now if you want to take it a little bit further, left palm comes off the ground, so you've got 5 fingertips there. Maybe one finger, or maybe no fingers. Sweep your arm forwards in front of you. Try not to dump down on either side. Breathe. Take the hand down, take the foot down, and then do the same thing on the other side. So left foot goes up, and then maybe you're playing around with 5 fingers, 1 finger, or none. Try and keep the breath soft as the body gets challenged. And then come back to your plank, drop knees, chest, chin. Inhale to a cobra. Lift the chest, stretch the core, and then make your way back to your downward facing dog as you exhale. Then we'll drop the knees, come onto the ground with them, finding a camel pose, placing fingers on the lower back. Really lovely pose just to stretch out the entire front side of the body, particularly hip flexors. Keep your hips stacked on top of your knees, maybe internal rotation of your thighs. Start to open out your chest. Keep the gaze forwards, or maybe gaze up high, depending on how your neck is feeling. Could even take it behind you. Feeling that nice opening across the entirety of the front side of your body. Some of you may even want to go further into it, placing your hands onto your soles of feet or calves or ankles. Before coming out of it with control. And let's just park up the bum, we'll sit on our heels. Take a moment just to enjoy, let that settle for a moment first, and then enjoy the gentle stretch on the tops of your feet, even the shins, getting a little bit of a stretch here. You could take it further and focus a little bit more on your toes if you wanted to. Hands go down, shuffle your feet so that the toes come onto the ground, and then you can sit back down on your heels there. Seems like a pretty simple pose, but I challenge you, maybe just go ahead and press pause on the video, see if you can sit here for 5 minutes. Just finding strength in the toes, the ankles, the feet. Doing this a couple of times a week is definitely going to improve the strength. See if you can sit just a little bit longer with it. You're starting to feel something, feel that heat. If there's any discomfort, see if you can take your attention, your focus back to your breathing instead. Just following the entire breathing cycle, covering it with your attention, knowing that this will pass. And then you can come out of it whenever you're ready. Whew, might need to shake out the feet, tap the mat with the tops before lifting the bum and the hips high, and we'll take a step or a jump to a yogi squat at the front of the mat. So both feet outside the hands. You want to point your feet out to the sides of your mat. Maybe hands stay down on the ground. Knees want to be kind of pointing in the same direction as your feet. Drop the bum, lift the chest high, and use your elbows if you're able to open out your legs. And don't worry about the heels. If they're nowhere near the ground, don't worry about it. Also, if the hands are on the ground, you could use a block or a book also to sit on if that helps. Wherever you are, just take a moment, see if you can find a bit of stillness in the pose. And again, take your attention back to the breath. Try to not rush off to the next thing. Stay in the moment as much as you can before dropping your hands, and we'll drop the bum and we'll take a seat. Ooh, as gracefully as you can. Once you've taken a seat, feet together, knees out wide, butterfly pose. And take your feet wherever is comfortable, maybe just close towards your hips or maybe a little bit further out if that is more accessible. We'll just start to move the knees up and down, getting out the butterfly wings. A little bit of opening in the groin here. This is where in the kids yoga class you can ask what colour your butterfly wings are today. Maybe mine are orange, coral, similar to the shorts. Let's try and sit tall, puff up the chest, spine tall, and go quick with it, go slow with it, have a little play around. Before straightening out your right leg, taking the left foot to the right thigh, and let's have a shuffle. We'll face the right leg with our torso, lift up the arms, breathing in. As you exhale, fold over the right leg. Now you may find that you want to bend your right knee quite a lot. Grab shin, grab foot, gaze over toes rather than gaze down towards your knee. Tendency just to like drop the head around the back. Try and keep your back and neck flat. Come back up slowly, and we'll just roll straight into the same thing on the other side. So left leg straight, right foot in, shuffle around. You really want to kind of face the left leg. Breathe in to lift up your arms, and then breathe out, fold. Almost sucking the left thigh back into the hip socket. You want to keep an eye on the right knee as well. Try and keep it as rooted as you can. Breathe. Before coming out of it slowly and straightening your legs, bring them together. And we'll fold over both of them. Point toes to face. You want your feet to be flexed, even if your knees are bent quite a lot, which I recommend. Breathe in, arms up. Breathe out, fold. Chest smothers the thighs. So you really want to find space in your spine and your back first. Gaze forwards over your toes rather than your knees. And then once you've found that space in your spine, then you can play around with starting to straighten the legs if that is available to you, but don't force it. Breathe into whatever sensations you can feel on the backs of your legs. And then we'll reach long with our arms and hover on down onto our back. Take your time. Engage your core to help. Move with control. And as you lower the back of the head, Let's place the left foot on the ground. We're going to bend the left knee, take right foot to left thigh, and we'll take a reclining pigeon, or a run and stretch as some people might know it by. Interlock the fingers around the left thigh, around the left shin. So you thread the right hand through the gap. Flex both feet, gently draw left knee towards face. You may want to start to push your right knee forwards as well. Could even take the right hand and gently nudge the knee away, getting quite deep into the glutes here on the right side. Remember, use your breath to help release, soften any tension. And then straighten your left leg. Keep your right knee where it is, and we'll grab it with the left hand and come into a supine twist from here. So left hand will gently take the knee over to the left, extend your right arm all the way towards the right. Chest very open, right shoulder, right elbow and right wrist touching the ground. You could look over to your right hand. Again, really lovely stretch for your glutes here. Soften your belly and then soften your breath as well. Stay here for at least 4 or 5 slow breaths. And we'll come back to center, rolling onto our back. Straighten out your right leg, grab your thigh or your calf and gently draw the leg towards face. Maybe head comes up off the ground before lowering the leg slowly. Try not to slam the leg down. And we'll come to our reclining pigeon on the other side. So left foot, right thigh. Thread the left hand through the gap, this time interlock fingers. And then you're gently kind of hugging, embracing, squeezing, drawing in as you push the left knee forwards on this side. Again, I quite like to grab the knee or push gently, nudge it forwards. Get a bit more purchase. And then come out of it slowly and softly. We'll straighten the right leg. Grab the outside of your left knee with your right hand. And we really want our left arm to be really quite wide here. So shoulder, elbow, wrist touching the ground. If they come off the ground with the knee, this could be quite a kind of natural tendency. Bring the knee back into the middle. Make sure the shoulder and the elbow are down, and then take the knee just as far as they will go. And you can look to your left hand to increase the twist a little bit. Lengthen your right leg, lengthen your neck. Breathe slowly. Enjoy it, take as long as you need. Should feel pretty good. We'll come back to center and get into the hamstrings on this side. So grabbing thigh, calf, maybe even grabbing toes. Gently draw the leg in towards your face. Should have mentioned you could probably grab a strap here or a belt, a tie, loop it around the ball of the foot. Just giving a bit more access. And then lower your leg slowly with control. Just take a moment with the legs down, just to kind of notice how they feel. Think of the space inside them. And then before we enjoy a final kind of resting pose, bring both knees together. Let's grab the backs of them and we'll start to roll forwards and backwards. We're going to take it towards our boat pose. A bit of core strength before you finish. Balancing on your bum. Squeeze your thighs in, knees together, feet together. Lift feet high. Flex your feet, spread your toes wide. And you can stay here, grab hold of the backs of the knees, or release your arms. Spread your fingers wide, stay there, or come with me. Inhale to a low boat, so your legs go long. Exhale, come back up, hip flexors engage. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, come back up. A couple more times, try to keep the back off the ground if you can. And try and keep your breath real nice and soft and slow. Maybe last time you come into your boat, straighten out the legs, one final push, and then very slowly lower yourself all the way down. I recommend slower the better. Could go ahead and take like 5 minutes to get down there, just to really test yourself before relaxing the back of the head, relaxing the arms, and relaxing the legs. Satisfying breath. in through your nose and out through your mouth, before closing your eyes, and just taking a minute or so to completely let go of the physicality of your body. Let your arms and your legs sink into the ground and bring a softness to your face. Just try to keep a similar stillness in the mind as well as the body, just making sure you're aware of any disruptions. Try to rest in that space behind thoughts, behind any internal dialogue, and enjoying the stillness. And as always, just noticing if the mind has wandered off at all. See if you can bring it back in towards the body. Keep your experience an inward one rather than external. Maybe take some gentle movements, fingers and toes. Full body stretch might feel pretty good. Slightly deeper breath. Fire your body back up with your breath. And then roll to one side and make your way to a seat. Where we began, you can come back to a seated position, crossing your legs. Just taking any final kind of moments here. You might want to sit tall, closing the eyes. Follow a couple of rounds of breath slowly. And just enjoy this final moment to check in and notice how you feel. Physically, mentally, checking in, tracking any changes. Just making sure you kind of thank yourself for making the time to practice. Thank you for letting me guide you. Maybe a final breath in to lift the arms up, and closing, bowing, sealing as you exhale and fold. Namaste. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed the class. Take it very easy. Hope you have a good rest of the day, whatever you're up to. If you're interested in checking out any more Yoga for Football videos, please keep an eye on my website. Otherwise, come over on Instagram at Mr. Collyman. Say hello. You can keep up to date there too. Take it easy. Hope to see you soon.